The Pickwick Papers is Charles Dickens' first novel, originally serialized between 1836 and 1837. Its full title is The Posthumous Papers of the Pickwick Club. The book is a blend of humor, social commentary, and keen observations of human nature, encapsulated in the adventures of Mr. Pickwick and his friends. Here is a detailed analysis of the novel, followed by study notes on key themes, characters, and literary techniques.
Plot summary.
The novel follows the adventures of Samuel Pickwick, a kind, wealthy gentleman, and his friends from the Pickwick Club, as they embark on a series of travel adventures around England. Mr. Pickwick is a naive and well-meaning man who finds himself entangled in various humorous and sometimes precarious situations. His loyal servant, Sam Weller, plays a pivotal role in helping him navigate these trials. The book's episodic structure captures several subplots, including a legal dispute over a breach of promise, Pickwick versus Mrs. Bardell, romantic entanglements, and comical misunderstandings. The novel reaches its climax when Mr. Pickwick is imprisoned for refusing to pay damages to Mrs. Bardell. In the end, Mr. Pickwick is released from prison, and the book closes with the dissolution of the Pickwick Club. Samuel Pickwick, the protagonist and founder of the Pickwick Club. A good-hearted but naive man who embodies Victorian values of charity, kindness, and moral uprightness. Sam Weller, Mr. Pickwick's street-smart and witty servant, who becomes a popular character for his humor, loyalty, and sharp observations about society. Tracy Tupman, one of Mr. Pickwick's companions, known for his romantic escapades, despite being middle-aged and overweight. Nathaniel Winkle, an inept sportsman and another member of the Pickwick Club. Winkle frequently finds himself in ridiculous and embarrassing situations. Augustus Snodgrass, a poetic member of the club, who, despite his passion for literature, contributes little in terms of action to the novel. Mrs. Bardell, Mr. Pickwick's landlady, who sues him for breach of promise when she mistakenly believes he has proposed to her. Mr. Jingle, a roguish actor who deceives the Pickwickians multiple times, symbolizing the dangers of trusting appearances. Alfred Jingle and Job Trotter, conmen who repeatedly take advantage of the Pickwickians, representing the corrupt and deceptive aspects of society. Social class and mobility. Dickens explores the fluid nature of Victorian social class, as seen through characters like Sam Weller, who rises from a humble background to become an essential figure in Mr. Pickwick's life. The contrast between Mr. Pickwick, a gentleman, and Sam Weller, a servant, serves as a social commentary on the arbitrary distinctions between classes. Through Sam's wisdom and wit, Dickens challenges the assumption that virtue or intelligence is tied to social status. The legal system and injustice. The legal battle between Mr. Pickwick and Mrs. Bardell provides a critical satire of the British legal system. The breach of promise case is a farcical event wherein Mr. Pickwick's honour is put on trial. Dickens illustrates how the law can be manipulated for personal gain and how justice is not always served. Mr. Pickwick's imprisonment underscores the theme of legal absurdity, exposing the inefficiency and cruelty of the system. Friendship and loyalty. The bond between Mr. Pickwick and his companions highlights the value of friendship. Even when faced with adversity, Mr. Pickwick's friends stand by him. Sam Weller's loyalty, in particular, serves as a model for fidelity and devotion, contrasting with the selfishness of characters like Jingle. The novel promotes camaraderie as a key to navigating life's trials. The absurdities of society. Through its episodic adventures, the Pickwick Papers pokes fun at Victorian society. Dickens uses humour and satire to critique societal norms, such as the rigid class system, legal structures, and romantic conventions. The absurd situations in which Mr. Pickwick finds himself highlight the often arbitrary and foolish nature of societal expectations. Humor and satire. Dickens is renowned for his humor, and the Pickwick Papers is an excellent example of his comic genius. The novel's tone is often light-hearted, with situations spiraling into absurdity. Characters like Mr. Weller and Mr. Jingle provide comic relief, while situations like the legal trial mock the solemnity of British institutions. Dickens uses humor to expose the irrationalities of society, creating a blend of entertainment and social critique. Characterization. One of Dickens' greatest strengths lies in his ability to create memorable and distinct characters. Each member of the Pickwick Club has unique quirks, and even minor characters are vividly drawn. Sam Weller, with his quick wit and sharp tongue, stands out as one of Dickens' most beloved creations. The exaggerated traits of characters like Mr. Pickwick or Mr. Jingle allow Dickens to explore societal roles while keeping the tone light and engaging. Serialization and episodic structure. Because the Pickwick Papers was serialized, its structure is episodic. Each chapter often presents a self-contained adventure, making it easy for readers to follow the story over time. However, this also leads to a loose overall narrative, with many subplots and detours. The episodic nature allows Dickens to introduce a wide variety of settings, characters, and social commentary. Dialogue. Much of the humor and social critique in the Pickwick Papers comes through dialogue. Dickens uses dialects, wordplay, and slang to give each character a distinct voice. Sam Weller, in particular, is famous for his malapropisms and witty one-liners. The dialogues not only develop the characters, but also enrich the novel's humorous tone. Symbolism. While the Pickwick Papers is not heavily symbolic compared to Dickens's later works, certain recurring symbols can be found. Prisons. The Fleet prison symbolizes not just the literal imprisonment of individuals, but the societal constraints placed on people through flawed systems, such as the legal or class systems. Journeys and travel. The Pickwickians' journeys symbolize a voyage of personal discovery. Mr. Pickwick learns more about the complexities of life and human nature as he moves from town to town, and the road represents the unpredictability of experience. Dialect and colloquialisms. Dickens makes use of regional dialects and colloquial speech, particularly through characters like Sam Weller, to give a voice to the lower classes. Sam's dialogue is filled with humor, malapropisms, and streetwise wisdom, allowing Dickens to explore class distinctions while giving lower-class characters a sense of agency and voice. Picaresque elements. The novel has strong picaresque elements, a literary genre involving the episodic adventures of a roguish hero. While Mr. Pickwick is far from a rogue, the episodic structure, comic tone, and wandering adventure-based plot draw on the picaresque tradition. This allows Dickens to introduce a wide array of characters, settings, and social observations without being confined to a singular narrative arc. The Pickwick Papers was an immediate success when it was published. The serialization format made it accessible to a wide audience, and the light-hearted, humorous tone resonated with readers across different social classes. The novel came out during a period of rapid industrialization and urbanization in England, and Dickens's portrayal of the bustling, chaotic life in both rural and urban settings struck a chord with a population experiencing significant change. Literary impact. The Pickwick Papers helped establish Dickens as a leading literary figure. The novel also set the stage for his later works, where he more deeply explored social issues, particularly poverty, inequality, and institutional corruption. Social influence. Dickens' portrayal of social mobility through characters like Sam Weller reflected a shift in the 19th century perception of class. The novel also raised awareness of the injustices inherent in the legal system, particularly in cases involving debtors' prisons. By blending humour, social satire and memorable characterizations, The Pickwick Papers is both a light-hearted read and a sharp critique of 19th century British society. Through the episodic adventures of Mr. Pickwick and his companions, Dickens touches on deeper issues of class, justice, and human fallibility. The novel's success lies in its ability to entertain, while also encouraging readers to reflect on the absurdities and injustices present in the world around them.